So have you had trouble connecting with your kids recently? Maybe you're trying everything and like nothing seems to work. I don't know. Maybe you even have teenagers and you have no idea how to connect with them anymore. Or maybe you're just so exhausted from work or from business that by the time you get home, you have no energy left to give. If any of those is you, this is the video for you. So I'm going to share the 5 simple tweaks that you can make during family time to truly connect. If you're ready, let's go. Now, I really wish I had these tweaks when I first got started. It was a lot of pain and struggling in this process, and I want to speed that up for you guys here today. Now, I'm calling these simple tweaks because actually it doesn't take much energy to make these adjustments along the way. Oftentimes, all you have to do is stop doing something that's actually preventing you from creating that connection so that you can actually be open to creating more. I mean, I think of this as like working out. Let's say you're trying to work out, but you're doing it 5 hours a day. If you're trying to do that or eat like 900 calories a day to lose weight, it's going to work in the beginning, but very quickly you're going to burn out. Now, if you were to go seek some advice from a trainer, they would tell you, hey, you need to stop working out so much. And by doing less, you would actually create more results in your life. This is the same thing when it comes to family connection. So I want to jump into these 5 tweaks, and I want to let you know that every single one of these really does matter. So as you go, I want you to pick the 1 or 2 tweaks that you're going to work on this week. Now, issue number 1 is your kids don't want you to solve every problem in their lives. Even if they do, if you're solving their problems, you're creating a follower and not a leader. Now, my brain works like this. Well, my son brought this to my attention, so he probably wants me to fix it for him. Then I work out the strategy of if you take these 3 steps, you can achieve X, Y, Z. Only that's actually not what they want. They just want to feel seen and be heard. Have you ever heard of processing things out loud? That's what kids love to do. They love to talk. They love to share their experiences. And literally by hearing themselves say it out loud, they can process it much quicker. So tweak number 1 is instead of trying to fix all of their problems, just practice doing a little bit of reflecting of what you hear. Putting yourself in their situation, or maybe just thinking about how you used to feel back when you used to experience those same things too. Now, inside of all my programs, I actually teach a framework about this. But really, it's about connecting with where they are and showing empathy. Let me give you an example. So a couple of months ago, my son Andrew came to me because he had this kid that was like picking on him. He was making fun of him. He was saying that he was taking pictures and putting it on Snapchat, and he was getting very upset. And so he was coming day after day after day after day, and he was asking me, Dad, what should I do? And I was giving him all the advice in the world, none of which he actually took. And so finally, I was like, you know what? I teach this stuff. Why don't I start practicing it? And so the next conversation I had with him, I made sure that I listened and I reflected back to him. So I said, Andrew, man, that sounds like very frustrating. I could definitely see how if I was in that same situation, I would feel the same exact way. What do you think you're going to do about it? And what's crazy is from that, he stopped, thought for a second, and I could see that he knew that I was empowering him to go out and get after it. What he decided to do is he said, you know what? I'm going to talk to my teacher. And if that doesn't work, I'm going to talk to the assistant principal. And what's crazy is about a week later, he came back. He said, Dad, I actually had to go see the assistant principal. And you know what? This kid was doing this to multiple other people and nobody had come forward and said anything. And they said that they were so thankful for me coming forward because now they're going to be able to correct him and the bullying that he was doing to everybody else too. And that would have never happened if I wasn't willing to actually step back and stop fixing his problems. What's incredibly impactful there too is when you stop fixing their problems, you actually give them a massive amount of confidence, and the connection you'll get from that is off the charts. Now, issue number 2 is we never stop to identify what actually makes them feel loved. So you probably heard of the book called The 5 Love Languages. Now, the way that this works is I want you to picture this like a piggy bank. Every time you have that ability of connecting with your family, you actually are either putting in a deposit or taking a withdrawal. Now, there's going to be times when you take withdrawals. You just have to make sure that you're always putting in more than you're taking out. Now, in this book, they talked about 5 different ways that we as humans feel love. Now, I want to go through them really quickly, but I also suggest that you grab a copy of this book if this really connects with you. Number 1 is acts of service. When people take action, when they do stuff for you, if this is your primary love language, you feel loved by them. The second one is quality time. If your love language is quality time, somebody spending undivided attention with you makes you feel loved. The third one is physical touch. This is where you can like reach down, grab somebody's hand, give them a hug. And when you do that, if somebody has their primary love language is physical touch, they feel loved by you. Now, the fourth one is gifts. And what I mean by gifts is it doesn't have to be expensive. It could literally be a card that you create. But if somebody's primary love language is gifts, they're always going to remind themselves of how much you love them from that gift. And the fifth one is words of affirmation. This one is mine. So Teresa knows if she wants to show me love, she will give me a positive word of encouragement. Something like, I saw you do that, and I want to just tell you that you're an incredible dad. That goes miles for me. Now, there's an online survey for the 5 love languages, and you can even give this to your kids. But identifying what their love language is important, because what happens here is if words of affirmation are what I feel loved by, I'm more likely to give that to other people. And if it disconnects, I will have this feeling of like, why are they responding that way to my words of affirmation? And it's because that's not their love language. And yes, it may feel amazing. And yes, it may work a little bit, but it actually doesn't really make them feel most loved. All right, now issue number 3 is we don't ask them the tough questions to help us identify where we can grow. Now, when it comes to our kids, I'm not sure why we do this. Maybe it's because we don't want to show weakness, but we actually don't ask them questions to help them identify what our specific faults are. This is also critical, like when you're spending time having conversations with your family. If you're not telling them about the times you failed, picked yourself up, and got back after it, like you're not really modeling the behavior for them. And if they fail at something, they're going to believe that there's something wrong with them. And in reality, this is just the way that life works. So what's an example of really asking them a question to help us identify how we can grow? How about this one? When you're having the most fun with me, what are some of the things that we're doing that's actually creating that excitement for you? When you feel most loved by me, what are some of the things that we're doing, or what are some of the things that I'm saying that make you feel that way? When you're not having fun with me, what are some of the things that we're doing that you really wish we wouldn't do? When you don't feel loved by me, what are some of the things that I'm saying or doing that make you feel that way? And here's the last one. When you think of me, what 3 words come to your mind? This is a little bit like a core values exercise. If the 3 words they come up with is work, busy, and angry, then you know you need to make a change. But are you willing to feel uncomfortable and even ask them that question so you can see where it is you need to grow? That one's a tough one, right? But it's even more impactful than the others. Issue number 4 is we spend time with them, but we don't spend time with them doing what they want. Now, if you've got kids, this is critical because a lot of times they don't like to do the things that you like to do. But when you think about it, isn't the actual end result for you to create incredible connection with them? Why wouldn't you just want to meet them doing something that they actually would love to do? So let me give you an example of this. Now, my kids are really into anime right now. And let me tell you, in the beginning, it was not my thing. And so I would see them watching this show called Demon Slayer. I wouldn't sit down. I always thought that I was too busy. I was always thinking about, what else could I do? It would be something that I would enjoy and they would enjoy too. So one day what happened is my kids were like, Dad, what do you want to do today? And I said, what would you think about if I sat down and we started watching Demon Slayer today? Now my daughter's eyes lit up. And the first thing she said is, you would do that? That was the big indication that I was not doing the things that they wanted to do. And what's crazy is once I sat down and I started to watch it, not only did I actually enjoy it, but it actually helped us connect outside of those moments. So I would be in the grocery store and I would see let's say a picture of Nezuko or a picture of Tanjiro, and I would bring that up and my kids would just get so excited talking about it. And all the parents would be like, what are they talking about? And the level of connection it created because I was willing to meet them where they were at was a game changer. Now, this is the most important one of all. And that is now that you're focusing on family, you're too focused on them that you forget about yourself. Listen, it's easy to get into high performer mode. Just like how we go all in with business, sometimes we can go all in with family and we leave the most important person out of the equation. And I do not want you to do that. I want you to picture yourself as you are the cup of your family, meaning you need to fill yourself up so that you can pour yourself out to others. And if you're constantly pouring yourself out into work, into business, into this, into that, even into family, you're going to be starting to pour from an empty cup. And that is not going to be the best version of you. So tweak number 5 is also spend some time with yourself to do the things that really fuel you. Now, whatever that is, it could be video games. It could be playing some kind of sport. It could be just not doing anything at all. Whatever that is, make sure you have that time for yourself to recover. Now that you have some of these tweaks working for you, I want to share one more video about the success equation workshop that I put together a few weekends ago. If you truly want to have success in your business and in your career, as well as when it comes to the connection with your family, you really need to understand and dive into this success equation. This is what helped me 4x my business at the same time of being more connected to my family than ever before. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Keep leading from the front. Bye, everybody.